One.
Hi, I'm Andy Jankowiak. Make sure you check out Full Throttle and don't lift till you see God or the checkered flag.
All right. Like he said, this is the episode with Andy. How you doing tonight, Andy?
Good, brother. How are you? Glad to be back on.
Good. So, for starters, um, please tell my viewers a little bit about what you've been up to this year, goals you might have accomplished, and everything like that.
Yeah, so we started out the year with the indoor midget series, and we were able to pick up 2 wins in the season championship, so that was cool. Then we switched over, started focusing on the ARCA series, and we ran 7 races so far on the ARCA tour, and we had I think maybe 3 top 5s and a couple top 10s. So just relatively pretty successful. The only 2 races were out of the top 10 were races where we had mechanical issues. So it's pretty excited about how we've been running with Class Motorsports, and now we're on a little break from ARCA. We'll be getting back into it here with Bristol, Watkins Glen, and Kansas at the end of the year. But right now, we've been doing a little short track stuff, and we got a win with our Sportsman Modified last week. We got a pole with the Modified, and we got a couple wins with our midget car too, starting our outdoor season here in Western New York area. So we've been busy.
So, talk to me about your ARCA program, on how happy you are that program's been going well, because that's how I know you. That's kind of how we got acquainted, because I know you race ARCA. Do, do you have any guys move up in the series, or are you pretty happy?
I'm kind of in a unique spot with ARCA because I'm not just a driver for Class Motorsports. It's sort of something I've really invested in, and it all kind of pieces of it are kind of pieces that I started with when it was Andy J Racing, and Kevin and Andy have invested in me so much, and they believe in me, and so in a little way it's mine too. So I'm sure if the right opportunity came along to do something else, I think they'd be pretty ecstatic for me. But I think my future probably is just going to be whatever we want to do with the Class Motorsports program. If that be if that's just ARCA, or if we switch and get into some truck stuff or something like that down the road, or like I say, if the phone rang and there was a weekend where it didn't conflict with my ARCA stuff, I think Kevin and Andy be all about it. But right now, just want to be successful at what we're doing. I think with all racing, you're always thinking ahead a little bit, and maybe that's a little unfortunate sometimes because I'm pretty lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and um, I think you see a lot of these guys come into the ARCA series, and it's kind of like a stepping stone thing, and if it is, then that's great. But I'm trying to focus on enjoying and what we're doing and be successful with what we're doing.
All right. So, Andy, so what do you think the best run you had this year is?
Say one more time.
What's the best race you feel like you as a person have had um this year? All the stuff you do.
Um, that's a good question. Just going through our ARCA season here. You know, I feel like with the ARCA stuff, I was really proud of Daytona because we had some bad luck early, and we kind of pulled together as a team, and we had a chance to go win the thing at the end. And then kind of similar situation even at Talladega. Just We didn't really have all the same trouble we did at Daytona, but we got into a little jingle there at Talladega and got spun out and had a little bit of damage. And the guys went right to work, and darn if we weren't leading the thing with 5 laps to go. So um, I'd say definitely one of those two. Probably Talladega. Probably getting spun out around halfway there, and then coming back and leading laps and in the closing laps at Talladega and fighting for that win, that meant a lot to me. So I'd have to say probably Talladega was pretty cool.
So, so what do you got coming up here for yourself, and what are some goals you want to accomplish the remainder of the season in anything you're doing?
Yeah, so we're right now we're kind of focusing mostly on the ROC modified series. I think we're in a points battle at Lancaster Motor Club. Well, I think we had to miss a race there for the ROC modified series. So that's kind of a bummer, but try to be successful. My most important race is always my next race. That's why I say. But we are starting to gear back up towards some ARCA stuff. Our first race back is going to be Watkins Glen, and with me not being a road course driver, I think the goal for this one is probably going to be a little bit more competitively in the top 10. We have a seventh place finish there a couple years ago, which is a statistic that I think we're all proud of. But I think this year we want to, you know, qualify and race closer to the top 10 and maybe have a chance at a top five at the end. I think if we could do that on a road course, I think that'd be pretty awesome. And then, we're going to have, a track that we're really good at with Kansas at the end of the year. I think that's definitely probably our best opportunity to get a win here before the end of the year. We were close there last year in the fall race, and we got Bristol coming up too. We struggled a little bit at Bristol the last couple of years, but I feel like this year, I got a good feeling about this year. I feel like you know we've just haven't been able to put it all together at Bristol the past couple of years for one reason or another. Just but the car that we've been racing at Bristol is a car that we had been struggling with a little bit, and this year it's raced at least once. Or it's ran Rockingham with it, ran Phoenix with it, and ran better in both those races. So I'm encouraged by the speed that car is showing. That's gonna be the car going to Bristol, and we'll see.
So, tell, tell me, as one of the drivers of the Orca series, who who he who's like who comes to you and says, you know what, Andy, I need some help.
You know, I don't know that I get that so much with the Arca series. Certainly some of the guys. I'll get phone calls from guys that want to, you know, figure out how to get a chance or put something together. Or I was somebody that kind of went out and just got a car and went and did it. So there's people out there that kind of want to do things that way. Steve Lewis has had a couple really successful trips to Daytona and Talladega now, and I've always tried to help him out where I could, and I think the way he kind of went about it, he probably saw what I was doing. I don't think he's ever actually told me as much, but I think he saw me go out and buy a car and go chase it, and he kind of approached it in a similar way, and he kind of does it with his family and goes to the little trailer and a lot like I did it before. I got blessed with this Class Motorsports situation that I'm in. So, um, there's a lot of probably just like short track, blue collar racers that kind of look at my path and are always interested in learning about how they might be able to pursue it kind of the way I pursued it. So I get those phone calls a lot for sure.
So, Andy, who who this year would you say, in your opinion, is going to win the Cup title in the Cup Series? Because I know you play close attention to what happens in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I always pull for Denny Hamlin, and he's running strong this year. You know, he's in contention for wins every year. Feel like he's kind of done this the last couple years and fizzled out a little bit come playoff time. So we'll see. But you know, I don't know. It's always a tough call. You know, it's whoever makes the right adjustments on that last pit stop at Phoenix is you know. But it's whatever Penske seems to have something figured out at Phoenix. So as long as they get into that Final Four, they're going to be tough out there, and you know that. But hoping for a Denny Hamlin championship this year.
Yeah. So Andy, so who before we wrap up here, who would you like to thank this year for coming on board and helping your racing program?
You know, we're blessed to have so many awesome sponsors that step up and make this happen for us. You know, we welcome Phillips 66 back this year, but you know, certainly Phillips 66, Acacia Energy, Dex Markets, Wheelan Engineering, Florida Safety Systems. They're going to be our title sponsor for Bristol. They helped us at a race. Automotive Consultants. We're going to really highlight them over at Watkins Glen because that's their home race. Yukon Creek Sportsman Club. You know, so many of these guys pitch in and make this happen for me. And you know, I'm not a driver with a lot of means. I'm a driver with a lot of ambition, and I've been blessed to have a lot of people, you know, want to get behind that. And it's sort of a cumulative effort. You know, mostly, you know, our car owner Kevin Lapierre is you know, he helped me out right from the get go with the ARCA stuff, and he's stuck with me, and you know, kind of made me part of his family, and we're you know now we're going racing together and trying to be successful doing this. So, you know, it's a lot of work. It never ends. You know, it seems like every day you wake up and you're doing something for it, and but you know, it's what we all aspire to do, and I'm just one of the lucky guys that is getting the opportunity.
Yeah. So, like Andy said, this has been Andy J. Kuliak, Jackson Puzzle for Full Throttle. Goodbye, everyone.